Welcome back to your chemistry class, children. Today we are going to discuss about oxidation reactions in everyday life. This is your last topic in your first chapter. That is, we have discussed about chemical reactions and equations in our previous class. Today also we are going to continue in the same lesson. That is our last topic, that is oxidation reactions in everyday life. So already we have discussed about what is oxidation, isn't it? What is oxidation? Oxidation is nothing, addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen or loss of electron is considered as an oxidation. Otherwise, addition of non-metallic element or removal of metallic element also considered as an oxidation process. So about this we have discussed in our previous class. So oxidation, reduction and redox reaction, all those things we have discussed in that same classes. That is, what is reduction? That is opposite to that of oxidation. That means removal of oxygen, addition of hydrogen, gain of electron and addition of metallic element or removal of non-metallic element is considered as a reduction. And we have discussed about redox reactions also. That is, both oxidation as well as reduction both also takes place simultaneously in a chemical reaction is called redox reaction. So most of the reactions carried out these redox reactions, because wherever oxidation, automatically the redox reaction also will occur. So both also takes place simultaneously in a chemical reaction is called redox reaction. So we have discussed about oxidizing agent and also reducing agent. For example, zinc oxide with carbon to form zinc plus carbon monoxide. We have discussed this reaction. See, zinc oxide, compared to zinc oxide and zinc, what happens? A removal of oxygen takes place. So this is a reduction process takes place. A removal of oxygen source, reduction. And see here, carbon to carbon monoxide, that is addition of oxygen takes place. So this is called oxidation. So both this oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously is called redox reactions. So in this we have discussed about oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. So here, which is oxidizing agent? Carbon oxidized here. So to oxidize this carbon, zinc oxide helps to oxidize this carbon. So zinc oxide acts as an oxidizing agent. As well as same like this, here which substance is reduced? Zinc oxide is reduced. So zinc oxide is reduced to zinc. In this reaction, zinc oxide is reduced to zinc by the removal of oxygen. So in this process, carbon helps to reduce the substance. Zinc oxide reduced to zinc. In this process, carbon helps to reduce the zinc oxide to zinc. So here zinc oxide is act as an oxidizing agent, carbon act as an reducing agent. So the substance which helps to oxidize is called oxidizing agent and itself it get reduced. Same like this, the substance which helps to reduce is called reducing agent and itself that substance get oxidized. So these are called oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. See here, zinc oxide is reduced but it helps to oxidize. So itself it get reduced and helps to oxidize. Same like this, see here, carbon helps to reduce the zinc oxide and itself it get oxidized. So this is called reducing agent. So we have discussed about this in our previous class, and today we are going to discuss about only the oxidation reactions in everyday life. Only the oxidation reactions in everyday life. So what we are going to discuss in this oxidation reactions in everyday life, that is about two reactions we are going to discuss in this. That in that one is corrosion. What is this? Corrosion. And another one is rancidity. So today we are going to discuss about corrosion as well as rancidity. Do you know what is mean by corrosion? See, during during chemical process, generally what happens during chemical process, new substance will be formed, isn't it? In each and every chemical reaction, compulsory a new substance will be formed during chemical reaction. See here, what is meant by corrosion means generally metals are eaten up with the help of air, moisture, and with the help of acids and some other chemicals. Because of this process, metals are slowly eaten up. This type of process is called corrosion. That is slow and steady destruction of metals. Slow and steady destruction of metals by the help of air, moisture, acids and chemicals are called corrosion. See, so during this corrosion, mainly iron objects will get rusted, and these during this process of corrosion, what happens means this corrosion mostly damages, it causes damages in car bodies, railings, ships, bridges. In these structure of these iron objects mainly, and also steel object, structure of these iron object as well as steel object mainly will get affected with the help of this corrosion. So corrosion is nothing, it is slow and steady destruction of metals by the help of atmospheric air, moisture, acids and also with the help of chemicals. So that process is considered as a corrosion. Generally, this corrosion causes damages in car bodies. In which places it causes damages? In car bodies, railings, ships and bridges. So, it causes damages in these places. So, mainly these corrosion cause damages in iron as well as steel objects like car bodies, railings, ships and bridges. Mainly the structure of these iron objects and steel objects will get damaged due to corrosion. The best example for corrosion is rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. See, rusting is the main best example of corrosion. You know very well. Suppose if we will left iron objects outside, what happens in the presence of oxygen, air and moisture? This iron object will get see here what happens in this reaction. Generally, these iron objects, what happens generally during these iron objects, if you will left outside, what happens means automatically, yes, I'll see this, these iron objects, Fe, it is you know very well, iron, Fe is iron, this is one element, and in this iron, if you will left outside, suppose if any iron object will be left outside, immediately this iron reacts with what's that? Moisture present in air and oxygen present in air and reacts to form rust. But immediately it will react, but slowly it will get rust. See, this is the slow process. See, suppose if I am lefting, suppose consider this is one iron object, means suppose if I am left this iron object in outside, what happens slowly, very slowly that iron will reacts with atmospheric air and moisture, and with the help of that atmospheric air and moisture, it will get rusted. It forms a reddish brown substance, that is brownish substance. That brownish substance is considered as a rust. See here, this is considered as a rust. So here we will mention yes, it may be the water molecules may be vary in iron object to one iron object to another iron object. So this process we are calling it as a rusting of iron. Suppose if any iron objects we are keeping outside, that iron combines with moisture and that is oxygen present in our atmosphere. Slowly it reacts together and forms a new substance, that reddish brown substance. That brown new substance is called, what is that? Rust. What's the chemical name of this rust means? It is hydride chemical name of rust is hydrated ferric oxide. You know very well, the iron has variable valency. Here see, what's the valency of iron? Here it is 3. So iron valency here it is 3. So this is iron 3 oxide. So hydrated, it included water molecule. So it is considered as an hydrated ferric oxide or hydrated iron 3 oxide. Why we are calling it as an ferric means valency 2, it is considered as an ferrous. Valency 3, it is considered as an ferric. So this is Fe2 plus is ferrous. This is Fe3 plus it is ferric. So the chemical name of rust is hydrated ferric oxide or hydrated iron 3 oxide. So this process is called rusting of iron. This is one of the best example of corrosion. So corrosion is the slow and steady destruction of metals by the help of air, moisture and acids and some other chemical process. So best example is rusting of iron. How the iron particles will get rusted means iron combines with moisture and what's that, air present in the atmosphere reacts together to form a new substance, that is it is rust. It will form a new coat on iron object, that is called rust. So it get destroyed that iron objects, and the name of that chemical substance is hydrated ferric oxide or hydrated iron 3 oxide. So next example we are going to discuss about, that is corrosion of copper metal. Corrosion of copper metal. So how copper metals will get corroded? Generally what happens in atmosphere, if we will left copper, it reacts with carbon dioxide, that is moisture present in our atmosphere. That is with the help of atmospheric moisture, what happens? It forms, this copper forms, listen, this copper forms a basic copper carbonate. This is called basic copper carbonate. Listen, this is basic copper carbonate. Suppose if we will left copper object in outside, it will lose its shiny and luster slowly. It will lose its shiny and luster slowly because of the reaction between, that is air, moisture and atmospheric carbon dioxide. With this both these three combines with this copper and it forms a basic copper carbonate. What is meant by basic copper carbonate means it is a combination of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. The color of basic copper carbonate is green color. So it forms a green coating on this copper. So this green coating is considered as a basic copper carbonate. So this is the one more example of corrosion, that is corrosion of copper metal. How this copper metal will get corroded means, if we will left this copper metal in atmospheric air, moisture and with the carbon dioxide, it reacts together and it forms a green coating on copper. That green coating on copper is considered as a corrosion on copper. That it forms a basic copper carbonate, that is copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. Both combined together to form basic copper carbonate. This process is called corrosion of copper. So this is also one of the best example of corrosion. Next we are going to discuss about corrosion on silver metal. Listen. Yes. Next we are going to discuss about corrosion on silver metal. See, what is the symbol of silver? It is Ag. Okay. How the silver, suppose if we are wearing silver anklet or the silver, what is that, anklet or some other thing we are wearing means, after a few months later, if you will wash that silver anklet, that silver anklet will get black coating. That is, it is surrounded with the help of some other that black color substance. Do you know what is that substance? That substance also formed due to the corrosion of silver. How that happens? That the silver reacts with some other substance to form that black color layer means. Now we will discuss. That is because of corrosion of silver. Generally, what happens means silver get tarnished. What is meant by tarnished? It becomes dull. It looks like dull. See, this silver article gets tarnished because of the reaction between hydrogen sulfide. What is this? Hydrogen sulfide. This is Ag, silver. This is H2S, hydrogen sulfide. Because of this reaction, it forms Ag2S. This is silver sulfide and release hydrogen. See here, this is another example of corrosion, that is corrosion of silver article. See how the silver articles get tarnished. It becomes dull due to the reaction of hydrogen sulfide gas present in our atmosphere. See, the silver, what happens means the silver reacts with hydrogen sulfide present in air and makes a black coating, that is black coating on its surface. That black colored substance is considered as a silver sulfide. What's the name of that black colored substance? It is Ag2S, silver sulfide. It is silver sulfide. You know very well, H2S is not and sulfate. Already we have discussed about this is SO4 2 minus sulfate end with ATE. SO3 2 minus sulfide end with ITE. S2 minus sulfide end with IDE. So this is S only sulfide, sulfur. So sulfide combines with this hydrogen. So this is considered as a hydrogen sulfide. So we are getting silver sulfide, that is black color coating is due to the formation of silver sulfide on its surface. So this is also another example of corrosion of a metal, that is silver metal. How the silver metals get tarnished, that is it becomes dull means due to the reaction between hydrogen sulfide gas present in air. This silver reacts with this hydrogen sulfide present in air to form a black colored substance, that is silver sulfide. Because of that reason it gets corroded. So due to that reason that shiny appearance, that is it gets tarnished and it becomes dull. Okay, so this is also another one example of corrosion. So corrosion is the slow and steady destruction of metal by the process of reaction between air, moisture, atmospheric air, moisture, acids, and with the help of some other chemicals. So we have discussed 3 examples here. One is rusting of iron is the best example of this corrosion. How the iron object will get rusted means generally the iron objects will get rusted with the help of the reaction between air and moisture present in our atmosphere. So what are the conditions we needed for iron objects to get rust? They will ask means you have to know to rust iron objects we have to need air and moisture. With the help of these two conditions that iron objects easily will get rusted. So what damages causes these corrosion on iron objects means mainly that iron and steel objects get damaged, that structure also get damaged with the help of this corrosion. Mainly this causes on car bodies, bridges, railings, and also in ships. So it makes damages on these objects. And how will you prevent this corrosion on these objects means we will prevent by coating them with the help of painting. So by painting we will avoid this corrosion, and same like this by applying oil or grease, oiling or greasing. With the help of this method also we can prevent this corrosion. And one more thing, by the help of galvanization. By the help of galvanization also we will prevent this corrosion. What is meant by galvanization means that is nothing, coating zinc on iron. So easily rusted. So if we will coat zinc on iron objects, we will slow down this process. So this is one of the prevention method to prevent corrosion from, that is air and moisture. So this is also one of the best method to prevent corrosion, that is galvanization. So same like this, alloying also one other method to prevent corrosion, that is by alloying with by adding some other metals with metal and with non-metal, all together, mixing together, we will make alloy. By making alloying also, we will prevent this iron from rusting. So these are the conditions to prevent iron objects from rusting, that is painting, oil, to apply oil, grease on iron objects, as well as galvanization process. What is meant by galvanization? Coating zinc on iron. Coating zinc on iron, this process called galvanization. And same way we will prevent by using this alloying process. What is alloying? The two or more metals or metals with non-metal combined to form alloy. So by the help of alloying process also we will prevent this rusting. So these are the conditions to prevent rusting. This is corrosion. It's the one of the example of oxidation reactions in everyday life. Next example, we are going to discuss about rancidity. Listen. So do you know what is meant by rancid? Rancidity. Now we are going to discuss about, you have to know about rancidity. Do you know what is meant by rancidity? See, mainly oil and fat. Mainly what happens? Oil and fat items generally get spoiled by aerial oxidation. Generally, oil and fat food items get spoiled. Generally, these food items get spoiled with the help of what? Oxidation process. So, due to this process, what happens means it makes bad smell and taste. It makes bad smell and taste. This process is called rancidity. That is, oil and fat items with the help of oxidation, it makes bad smell and taste on its items is called rancid or rancidity. So, what's the damage in this rancidity means mainly that oil and fatty food items will get rancid with the help of this aerial oxidation. See, we know that mainly we will collect some food items from store. While collecting that food items, they will preserve that food items with the help of by adding vinegar or by applying some other substance, that is nitrogen packaging, and like this. Because why they are adding like this means they are that substance act as an that is antioxidants in the places. Like this, here also to avoid this oxidation, here also we will use some conditions, that is to prevent rancidity. So what are the conditions we will use to prevent rancidity means, first we need to keep food, that is we need to keep food away from sunlight. So suppose in medicines, if we are buying from medicines, that is stores, or some other items if we are buying from stores means, they will mention in that place itself, better avoid from sunlight. So store in a cool place. So they will mention like this, because some food items, some medicine items like this substance, we need to store in some other conditions. So like this, same like this, here oil and fatty food items generally we need to store away from sunlight. This also prevent that is from these food items from rancidity. This will reduce the rancidity. It will avoid oxidation. You have to know first, by adding antioxidants. Do you know what is meant by antioxidants? Antioxidants which prevents oxidation. So that items are called antioxidants. So the substance which prevent oxidation is called antioxidant. Generally, to avoid rancidity, to prevent rancidity, you have to add the food item with the help of adding some antioxidants. See, you know that BHA, this is butylated hydroxy anisole, and BHT, this is butylated hydroxy toluene. See, these two substances also act as an antioxidants. So just now I said to you what is meant by antioxidants. That a substance which avoid oxidation, which prevent from oxidation is called antioxidants. So what are the prevention method we can take for avoid this rancidity means, first by adding food items, that oil and fatty food items with the help of antioxidants. So what are antioxidants? Generally BHA, BHT, that is butylated hydroxyanisole and butylated hydroxytoluene. These are considered as an antioxidants. Like this, some other substance also we will add to avoid oxidation. So this process called, what is that? By adding antioxidants, we will prevent this oxidation process. The same way, we have to keep food in a, we need to keep food in a refrigeration. So you have to keep food in a refrigeration by storing food in a refrigeration. If we will keep food in refrigerator, it will slow down the oxidation process. So in this way also we can prevent this food items with the help of rancidity. And same like this, we need to store these food items in a airtight container. We need to store this food items in airtight container. So in airtight container. So by storing food in a airtight container. Suppose if we will store foods in an airtight container, this airtight container will not allow to oxidize the food easily. This also slow down the oxidation process. So if we will store food in airtight container, this also prevent rancidity. Okay. Same like this, we need to keep food away from, just now I said to you, sunlight. You need to keep food away from sunlight. So like these materials, that fat and oily food items, if you will store away from sunlight also, it will reduce the rancidity process. So same like this, do you know this potato chips? Generally that potato chips packets, it is filled with the help of gases, isn't it? If you will touch the chips packet, it feels that is fluffy, but inside only we will see very few chips inside. But if you will see the outside the packet, it will look like that is it is made with the help of full chips. How it is possible means, because they are adding inside the pocket with the help of one gas, that is they are filling with the help of one gas. What's that gas means? It is nitrogen. What is that gas? It is nitrogen. Why that potato chips and all they are packing with the help of this nitrogen gas means, because this nitrogen is generally unreactive gas. Generally this is unreactive gas. It will not react with air moisture easily, that is it will not get oxidized easily, it will not react with oxygen easily, it will not allow oxygen easily. Generally it is considered as an unreactive gas. So like this, if we will fill the chips packet with the help of this nitrogen gas, it will not allow this food to get oxidized easily. Due to that reason, that chips packets and all mainly they are filling with the help of nitrogen gas. So they will ask in your examination also why fat and oil food items are packing with the help of nitrogen gas means because nitrogen is unreactive gas. It will prevent that fat and oil food items with the help of oxidation. It will not allow this oxygen to enter inside. It will not the food items easily will not get rancid. Due to that reason, we are filling that nitrogen in chips packets. Okay. So by filling like this gases also, we will prevent rancidity. Same like this, in some places they will fill helium gases. Helium also you know very well, it is one of the noble gases that we will call it as an inert gases. That is helium. So by filling with helium also we can avoid this rancidity because this is also inert gas, unreactive with other substance. So it will prevent rancidity, that is it will not allow this oxygen to enter inside. It will avoid that oxidation process. So because of this reason, this also we can use one of the antioxidants like nitrogen, helium, BHA, BHT like this. So what is meant by rancidity means rancidity is nothing that fat and oil substance will left some days in presence of air easily will get oxidized. Due to that process, that food items will give bad smell and taste. It gives unpleasant smell and odor. So it makes, due to rancidity, it makes the food items unpleasant smell and odor. So due to that reason, we need to prevent these food items. So by storing these food in a refrigerator and to keep food away from sunlight and to store these food in airtight container and to add some antioxidants like BHA and BHT to fill some oil and fatty food items with the help of packaging inert gas like helium or nitrogen gas. We will prevent this oxidation process. Because of this reason, it will avoid rancidity. So these are the reactions which prevent rancidity. So we have discussed two types of reactions today. One is corrosion, another one is rancidity. So oxidation reactions in everyday life. Generally, oxidation reactions takes place in our daily life. In there, only today we have discussed about two important reactions by the help of oxidation. One is corrosion, another one is rancidity. What is corrosion means? It is slow and steady destruction of metals. Metals are eaten up with the help of air, moisture and chemicals. This process is called corrosion. Mainly with the help of corrosion, that iron objects and steel objects get damaged, and the structure of iron and steel objects also get damaged. Mainly the damage is causes in railings, car bodies, ships, bridges. In these places mainly it will cause damages. So to prevent this process, you have to do some other process like on iron object we have to do painting and oiling, greasing and alloying, galvanization process. By this way we will avoid rusting on iron and steel objects. So one of the best example for corrosion that is we have discussed, that is rusting. So what is rusting means? When we will left iron objects on outside, that iron will combine with air and moisture to form that is reddish brown substance. It form a layer of reddish brown substance that is called rust. So what's the chemical name of rust means? That is hydrated ferric oxide or hydrated iron 3 oxide. Same like this we have discussed one more example, that is corrosion of copper. So corrosion on copper metals, how it will take place means, suppose if we will left copper metal on outside, slowly that copper will lose its sign and it lost its luster with the help of carbon dioxide, air, moisture. Due to this reason, it forms a green coating because of corrosion. The name of the green coating is copper carbonate, that is basic copper carbonate, that is CuCO3 into CuOH twice, that is basic copper carbonate. So that basic copper carbonate is made up of copper carbonate as well as copper hydroxide, isn't it? So that forms a green coating on copper. So that green coating also one of the corrosion process. Same like this, one more corrosion we have discussed, that is corrosion of silver. So how it will silver particles easily get tarnished, that is it becomes dull, means because that silver particles mainly reacts with hydrogen sulfide present in air. What's the formula of hydrogen sulfide? It is H2S. So generally that hydrogen sulfide present in air reacts on silver particles, it forms a black coating on it. So that black coating is called as a silver sulfide. Because of the formation of silver sulfide, these silver particles get corroded. So this also, it is one of the best example of corrosion of silver. And after that we have discussed about rancidity, another oxidation reaction in everyday life. We have discussed about rancidity. This rancidity mainly it will cause on food items like fat and oily food items. Generally, fat and oily food substance will get rancid. That means it will get spoiled by the aerial oxidation. Because of this oxidation process, what happens, suppose oil food or fatty food, if we are left out with the help of oxidation, with the reaction with oxygen, with the help of oxidation process, what happens? Immediately it reacts together and makes the food unpleasant smell and taste. Unpleasant smell and taste. So because of this unpleasant smell and odor, it causes, that is, it spoiled the food items. This process is called rancidity. Oil and fat food items, by the help of oxidation, it makes the food items, what is that? It makes the food items unpleasant taste and odor. This process is called rancidity. So to prevent this rancidity, we have to store this food in a refrigerator, or we have to keep away from sunlight. We need to store these food items in airtight container, and we need to add some antioxidants like BHA and BHG. So that's like butylated hydroxyandazole and butylated hydroxytoluene, and we need to flush that fat and oily food items with the help of some inert gases and unreactive gases like helium and nitrogen. With the packaging these substance, it will prevent these substance from rancidity. So they will already, I have informed to you, ask one question to you, that is how the fat and oil food items we are storing inside the packaging. Why we are storing with the help of nitrogen gas, means it is unreactive gas. So to prevent oxidation, to avoid oxidation, we are storing the food items with the help of this nitrogen gas, isn't it? Okay, so these are the oxidation reactions in everyday life. So listen children, we have completed this first lesson. That is what we have discussed from starting. We have discussed about what is chemical reactions and what is chemical characteristics of chemical reactions. Then we have discussed about chemical equation and balancing chemical equation, unbalancing chemical equation, and why should we need to balance a chemical equation. Then we have discussed about that is after balancing chemical equation, types of chemical equation we have discussed. In the types of chemical equation, we have discussed about combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, precipitation reaction, exothermic reactions, endothermic reactions, oxidation reactions, reduction reactions, neutralization reactions. Like this, some other chemical reactions we have discussed in this lesson. And same way, we have discussed each and every reaction. We have discussed some example with the help of activity also. After this, we have discussed about, that is oxidation reactions in everyday life, that is about corrosion and rancidity. So go through this children and see answer your worksheet also. Go through this. If you have any doubt, we will discuss in our next class. Listen carefully. In your next class, we are going to take our second lesson, that is acids, bases and salts. So in our next class, we will discuss about our second lesson. Thank you children.